Where you at, George? My balls was hot. I'm surprised you.
Yo, UFC 325 is happening this Saturday, and I'm gonna break down the entire card from the first to the last. Let's not waste any more time, and let's get straight into the first fight of the night, fellas. All right, fellas, starting off this card, we have Aaron Tahu taking on Namzari Baptire. I'm gonna mention this, guys. The first four fights on this card are guys, are all fights in the road to the UFC. So all 8 fighters are fighting for a contract. That's probably why these are unfamiliar names, guys. But I'm here to give y'all some good info, so y'all can get a good understanding of what type of fighters these guys are. Starting off with Aaron Tahu, he's 11-1, 4-1 in his last 5. He is a brawler and has 7 wins by knockout, 1 by submission, 3 decision. That 1 decision loss is coming from a good fighter who's already in the UFC, Elijah Smith. I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with him, but this dude outpointed him for 2 rounds. He was just a longer fighter, the more technical fighter, and Aaron just came in with the wrong strategy. They've said in fights, man, there was an interview where they interviewed this guy, and he said he don't even know who he fights. He don't do tape study. He just goes in and wants to brawl. And it shows, man, because that's pretty much his game plan. To brawl, get in your face, and swing leather. It didn't work against a higher elite competitor like Elijah Smith. And he was just outpointing him, keeping his range, using his length to an advantage, and just finding a perfect fight. The perfect fight you can against a brawler. Staying on the outside, picking your shots, moving constantly. And Aaron just couldn't close the distance with his short frame. But in the third, this dude picked it up. Aaron just kept brawling, bro, and Elijah Smith couldn't keep up with this dude's cardio, and it showed because this dude started slowing down, and that's where Aaron started finding his shots. And I believe if there was another round in that fight, if they would have made it a 5-round war, Aaron would have taken him out. He started taking him down, landing clean shots, and he won the 3rd round, but he just ran out of time. On the other side, we have Namzari Baptire, 9-1, 5-0 in his last 5, 4 coming by knockout, 5 decision, and 1 loss by decision. That 1 loss is coming in the regional scene. It happened in the 2nd round. I can't pronounce the fighter's name, but pretty much Namzari shot a bad takedown. It got stuffed, and the dude countered with his takedown of his own. Got it, took the back, flattened him out, and submitted him that quick. I'm not sure how long ago it was. Let me check here, guys. 3 years ago, that fight happened. Ever since then, Namzari's grappling has improved dramatically. This dude flows, man. He flows on the ground. This dude gets on top mount. Whatever position he wants, he gets in there, and he lands heavy ground and pound. But his fight style is pretty much take it to the ground, or he's more comfortable on the ground because he could also strike. Let's not mistake in that. But ultimately, he likes to shoot a lot, mixing the wrestling and take the fight to the ground and find a submission. The only thing that holds him down from taking it to the ground is the dude can't wrestle, guys. He has bad takedown attempts. And that's pretty much the only thing that's holding him back from submitting people. He does have 5 submissions, but when you're fighting in the higher competitors who he's fought who are higher level, he's struggled really bad to take it to the ground. One of those submission ones that he actually got was from a knockdown, which he scored on the feet. Which is the most recent one was the 1st round submission, where he hit a counter straight, which knocked his opponent down, and he took the back and submitted him that quick. This dude likes to stay out. He's also a brawler. He won't back down from a brawl. He'll stay in the pocket and exchange as well. But for the most part, he's always moving in that karate stance and those nice kicks. This fight's pretty much gonna pound. Both of these guys are pretty durable, guys. Aaron Tahu, he'll take a beating, guys. He'll take a beating, and we'll keep marching forward. That's pretty much how I have this fight planning out. Is Namzari's gonna try to take this fight to the ground with this horrible takedown attempts, and Aaron's good enough to stuff some takedowns. He's not the best as takedown defense is still stand at a 64%. But if you shoot enough, you'll land a takedown on him. And Namzarine, I don't know if he will in this fight, but he's not that good, like I've mentioned. I just see Aaron beating this guy down, and who knows, the way these two guys fight, there may be a knockout in this fight, guys. Coming from Aaron's side. I won't underestimate Namzari, but I just don't see him being victorious in this bout, guys. So give me Aaron Tahoe, low confidence pick to win this fight. In the second fight of the night, we have Lawrence Liu taking on Sulong Rainbow. Lawrence Liu has a record of 7 wins, 1 loss. He's 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming in as the underdog at plus 170. Lawrence Liu holds a record of 10 wins, 3 losses. He's 5-0, -1, -220. He has 6 wins by knockout, 1 submission, 3 decision. Does have a TKO loss, which occurred 2 years ago in the regional scene, and 2 decision losses. Lawrence Liu has lost 1 fight, which was a split decision loss also about 2 years ago. He has 4 knockouts and 3 decision victories. This fight is happening in the bantamweight division, with Sulong Rainbow being the taller fighter but having a smaller reach, which is going to play a huge role in this fight because both fighters are counter strikers, and he's going to have over a 5-inch reach disadvantage over Lawrence Liu. You see, these guys typically finish the fight, and there is a big age gap between Sulong Rainbow and Lawrence Liu. And from what I've seen in previous fights that I've bet on, fighters that are that young typically don't do that well. The higher levels. Rainbow is a good striker. I just haven't seen how he is on the ground when he's taken down, because he's stuffed all the takedowns that's been shot on him. He stuffed them all from low-ranked opponents. These dudes were shooting from like a mile away. If you get taken down by that, you must not be good at all. So take that with a grain of salt. On the other hand, Lawrence Liu also has, he's not the best wrestler, but he shoots enough to the point where he ends up getting a takedown. And if not, he likes to smother you towards the cage, and that's where he gets his majority of his control time, is holding you against the cage, trying to work a takedown. If his striking is not that good, this dude's been hurt very badly before and has shown to survive and use the wrestling to recover. On the other hand, Sulong Rainbow, which is okay, he's there to be hit. He relies heavily on his right hand, which does hold a lot of power. He does have a lot of power in his hands, especially the right hand, which he throws a lot as a counter. This fight might go to a decision, guys, just because both guys like to counter. Rainbow is very good knowing where he's at, the octagon. He's always moving and he picks shots. He does not throw a lot. And with a fighter like Lawrence Liu, who's going to be in your face, trying to push you towards the cage, trying to work those takedowns, I feel like because he will be the aggressor in this fight, I have to lean towards his way to win a decision over Sulong Rainbow. There's so many unanswered questions of Sulong Rainbow. How his ground game is, how does he deal against pressure? Opponents he's fought didn't really pressure him. That's why he was able to stand, work his range and distance, and find the counters towards his opponents. Lawrence Liu will have a high guard here, and he uses it. He's obviously going to get hit here and there since he doesn't move his head, but I don't see Sulong Rainbow knocking him out. And if he does hurt him, I've seen it before. This dude will try to, based off what I've seen and the stats say here, have to take Lawrence Liu to win this fight. All right, so next up we have Sebastian Saleh taking Hiro Nakamura in the featherweight division. Sebastian Saleh holds 10 wins, 1 loss. He's 5-0 in his last 5. 2 of those wins come from knockout, 1 from submission, 7 decision. He will be the smaller opponent, the smaller fighter in this matchup. 4-inch reach disadvantage over Nakamura. Sebastian Soleil has that karate background where he comes in a bladed stance, likes to throw that lead high kick pretty often, is always moving, taking angles, and he mixes the striking pretty well from the leg kicks to punches to the body to kicks to the face. He mixes it all pretty well and has a pretty good striking defense. As you can see here in the tail of the tape, he has 71% striking defense and absorbs 1.2 shots per minute, which is shown in his footage. He moves pretty good and is pretty hard to hit. Although he's been stunned before, but nothing crazy. He throws very good shots and it shows very good high IQ on the feet, fellas. He likes to also mix in some wrestling. I believe that's just to get his opponents thinking because he's really not that successful in the wrestling. But has a very good takedown defense, and is probably why his takedown defense is pretty high is because his bladed stance, guys. It's really hard to take someone down when you're pretty bladed. He doesn't carry a lot of punching power, although he is coming off a knockout win over his most recent opponent, which he did land a knockdown and ended up finishing with a ground and pound. He really doesn't carry that much power to his punches, but has a lot of volume. On the other hand, Nakamura has 6 wins by knockout, 1 by decision, and has a loss by submission. On the other hand, Nakamura has 7 wins, 1 loss. He's 5-0 in his last 5. 6 of those wins come from knockout, 1 by decision, and he has a loss by submission, which occurred a while back, about 3 years ago. It's probably not going to happen in the fight. Both guys have that karate stance. Also comes out in that karate stance, but his striking defense is not that good. He gets hit pretty often, and his previous fights he's been hurt. He's been hurt pretty bad, and also has been taken down. Sometimes he doesn't really always keep that bladed stance, and sometimes will square up to his opponent, which his opponents have taken advantage of that, and he's been taken down pretty clean. But to his defense, he does get up pretty quick and doesn't accept bottom position. Yeah, his grappling's not too great. Not too great, but it's good enough to get up back on his feet. What leads him to get hit a lot, guys, is his hands, man. His hands. He keeps his hands pretty low and he gets hit, and it's what's caused him to get hit pretty often. He does end up finding his range pretty good, and he throws with a lot of power, man. There's going to be a knockout in this fight. It's going to come from Nakamura's side. Although I don't see it, but if there was, that's where it'd come from. He does pressure. When he starts smelling blood, he does pressure and has very good offense, but leaves holes where he could be hit. For the most part, guys, he has good takedown defense. He will stuff the majority of takedowns, and it won't be a concern in this fight since both will be striking for the most part. His most recent victory did come from a decision where he did lose the first round, in my opinion, where he was just taken down. Also, then he was hurt in that round, but he did pick it up in the second and third round where he started finding his range and landing his shots, and did hurt his opponent, which led him to get the victory. Prior to that, he did have a knockout win, which came from a knee where his opponent was shooting on him, and he just timed the knee perfectly. I don't see a knockout happening in this fight. I do see Sebastian Soleil winning this fight, and then if he does, I do see it from decision. I don't think he's going to have the power to take out Nakamura because he's shown a lot of toughness in his fights, even though he's been hurt. Taking Sebastian Soleil just because the striking defense will be there, and I think more is going to land as much as he's going to land on him. Give me Sebastian to win this fight by decision. All right, so in the lightweight division, we have Sang-Woo Kim taking on Damar Fan. Damar Fan has a record of 8 wins, 2 losses, is 4-1 in his last 5. He's primarily a grappler. The striking is pretty much non-existent, but the grappling is where he has a lot of success and finds paths to victory there. On the other hand, Woo Kim, his striking is going to be better than, it's not good, but he does have a nice left kick that he uses pretty often. Does find success there. But he holds a record of 13 wins, 3 losses, won 1 in his last 5. That one loss is coming from a decision loss to a striker who's pretty much stuffed all his takedowns. He is not a bad wrestler by any means, but the dude he just always levels ahead of him in both the striking game, which won him the fight. He landed a lot of damage and ultimately decision off Woo Kim. In that fight, he shot 9 times, didn't land anything. Woo Kim has 5 knockouts, 4 submissions, and 4 decisions. His most recent knockout came from a crucifix TKO on the ground, where he pretty much gassed out his opponent, took him down, and his opponent was too tired to get out of that crucifix position and got the TKO there. I don't see him knocking him out. This may be a striking fest, actually. That's usually what happens when 2 grapplers fight each other. They just keep it on the feet. But the path to victory for Dom Fan here is to take it to the ground. He has a high takedown rate. And it's pretty good. But the problem is keeping it on the feet, keeping control, because he always gets his back taken and finds a way to reverse it. And then ends up it's just back and forth of getting his back taken. He will be superior. I believe he will be superior to Woo Kim in the grappling department, and that's where I believe this fight may take place. Because Dom Fan is not a good striker and doesn't take punches well. He will be shooting a lot, and I don't think he's gonna need too many takedown attempts to take Woo Kim down. He's been taken down before, and I know that the takedown defense is high, but it's from people who remember, guys, these guys fought low level competition, so numbers here could be a little misleading. So he's finally going to be fighting a dude who can grapple at a high level, and so I believe he will take him down and win this fight. So I am taking Dom Marfan to win this fight by decision. I just don't know. It's just weird when 2 grapplers fight, especially fighters like these guys who there's not much information on them, and that's hard to make any reads because anyone could look good against a can. So I'm not going to be betting this fight. If it does stay on the feet, Woo Kim may win this fight. I'm hoping that Dom Fan does score the takedowns, and I'm imagining that he will, so I am picking Dom Fan to win the fight. In featherweight division, we have a matchup between Khan Offley and Yahiza. Both men are 1-2 in the UFC, and I'm going to pick Yahiza to win this matchup solely because I believe he is the better striker between the two. That's not what they're known for. Both men are grapplers and like to keep the fight on the ground, and that's where they find most of their success. As you see, Khan Offley has 6 wins out of his 12 by submission, and Yahiza 13 out of his 25 by submission. Yahiza is coming off a knockout over Weston Wilson, but who doesn't knock out Weston Wilson? His most recent loss in the UFC's from Gabriel Santos. Gabriel Santos was just 1 step ahead of him in the grappling department and in the striking. He did enough damage, and I believe the striking is what probably took out Yahiza and kept him from executing his game plan. That's not going to happen here between Khan Offley. Khan Offley's striking it's not bad, but it's not good. Usually between 2 grapplers, I don't know for what reason, but the fight usually ends up on the feet, and if that ends up being the case in this matchup, then I'm taking Yahiza to win this match. And I also trust Yahiza's grappling. If the fight does hit the mat with Khan Offley, I trust Yahiza to get back on his feet or even pull a reversal or who knows, even a submission, guys. He is live for that. So I believe Yahiza wins in every possible situation. So give me Yahiza to win this matchup, guys. In the welterweight division, we have a matchup between Oban Elliott and Jonathan Mikulev. I'm taking Oban Elliott to win this match solely because I believe that he's gonna have better wrestling and striking over Jonathan Mikulev. Jonathan Mikulev will be the bigger fighter and have the 5-inch reach advantage over Elliott. I don't think his striking's as good as we think, as he did outstrike his last opponent, Kevin Jusey. But Kevin Jusey didn't do shit, man. I'm gonna be honest. Kevin Jusey didn't do anything, so the threat wasn't there for a counter. He was using his left kick a lot and was moving towards his outside leg and popping the jab out a lot. But he's primarily a jiu-jitsu practitioner, and Elliott, I believe, is gonna have good enough jiu-jitsu to not put himself in danger, as he's never been submitted and is coming off a loss over Co. Is actually pretty good, and I believe we all underestimated his skills. Also, in that match, I will point out, maybe me, but it looked like Oban was scared of the power coming back his way. I don't think he's going to be afraid of Jonathan's striking abilities, as I was not that impressed over his striking. He did have a nice win, but I just don't see that happening here. I think that Oban Elliott will push the pace a bit better and have the winning exchanges over Jonathan Mikulev in this matchup. So I'm taking Oban Elliott to win a decision over Jonathan Mikulev. I don't know that he may take it to the ground just because of how good Jonathan Mikulev's ground game is. So, like I've mentioned before, if he does, I trust his IQ and his ground game enough to not put himself in danger and win the fight. So I'm taking Oban Elliott. Get back in the win column. In the middleweight division, we have a matchup between Jacob Malkoun and Taurus Finney. Jacob Malkoun is coming off a long layoff. We're talking about a year and 9 months, where his most recent win was a win over Andre Petroski, which was a crazy knockout. He got a knockout via his hip bone, knocked out Andre Petroski. This dude is mainly a wrestler, a grappler, and likes to shoot a lot. And I feel like they made this matchup because they need someone that can deal with Taurus Finney's wrestling. He's a boring wrestler, but has a ton of success because he's a muscle ball and just bullies his opponents around, man, but in a very boring fashion. Taurus Finney, on the other hand, he's coming off a win over Robert Valentine, where he just wrestled him and held him down for 3 full rounds and pretty much gassed out doing so, man. In the third round, he was just holding on for dear life, man. And luckily, Robert Valentine was that ass to not get up, to not get off, and let his handler go. I'm taking Taurus Finney to win this match, guys. I'm taking Taurus Finney to win this match over Jacob Malkoun. Jacob Malkoun's been out too long, man, too long. And rumor has been out that he was out due to a bad back injury. And it was so bad that he was contemplating retirement. That's not too good of a look, and for the odds being the way they are, and we're getting Taurus Finney as an underdog in this matchup, it's hard not to take him. The value, I believe, is on Taurus Finney. He's yet to have been tested in the wrestling, but I don't think Jacob Malkoun's the one to do it, man. So I'm siding with Taurus Finney to win this matchup. In the middleweight division, we have a matchup between Cam Ralston and Cody Brundage. I'm taking Cam Ralston to beat Cody Brundage in 1 round. I believe he starches him in the first round. He's shown to have very good hands, and Cody Brundage in fights has shown it's hard to read it because sometimes he comes out as a dog and just comes out swinging leather. Other times he just doesn't like being hit and will cover up and try to find a way out, man. We've seen it with the no contest. I can't remember. I think it was Al Hassan, where he just felt his power and just wanted a way out. It's going to happen here. If not, he's going to try to shoot on Cam Ralston, and Cam Ralston in the ground is very dangerous. As you see, he holds 6 submissions. He's no joke on the ground, man. So I don't see any paths of victory for Cody Brundage here unless he just pulls out some other miracle, like the slam knockout or Zachary Reese. He's done stuff like that. He loses fights that he's supposed to win and wins fight he's not supposed to. His most recent loss to Eric McConical, Cam Ralston beats him 10 out of 10 times, dude, and he went to a split decision loss with him. So I can't trust Cody Brundage here, even at this underdog price. I'm going with the prospect and Cam Ralston to win this matchup. In the light heavyweight division, we have Junior the Juggernaut Hoffa taking on Billy Elikana. It's pretty straightforward, man. This is going to be pretty straightforward. Billy Elikana is the much better fighter here. And then the only category where he's probably not is in the striking. Junior Hoffa is no slouch in the striking. But he doesn't have cardio. He doesn't have wrestling. He doesn't have jiu-jitsu. You pretty much, if you're betting on Junior Hoffa, you're hoping that he gets him out in under half a round. Because even a full round, I don't know how that's gonna go. But Billy Elikana has shown good fight IQ in his previous fights. In his fight against Bogdan Guskov, dude was a threat in the feet. He shot a takedown, controlled him for 3 minutes. Had 3 minutes of control time in that fight. So he got submitted, man. He got submitted, but Junior Hoffa's not going to pose that type of threat in the ground game, at least. He does pose a threat on the feet, where he has had all his victories come from knockout. The obvious pick here is Billy Elikana, but now, as a fan, I have to go Junior Hoffa, man. All the Hoffas. I've been a Hoffa fan for the longest, although I'm probably like 1 and 5 picking the Hoffas. I cannot pick up against my boy. Even though he pisses me off because he don't get up and doesn't even try to work his way up from a takedown. I can't pick against my boy. So I'm picking Junior Hoffa to win this fight and knock out Billy Elikana in the first round. That's going to be the sleeper play, fellas. That's going to be my sleeper play. I'm taking Junior Hoffa. Give me Junior Hoffa, bro. In the lightweight division, we have a matchup between Quinlan Salkill and Jamie Malarkey. I'm going to pick Quinlan Salkill to win in this matchup just solely because he's going to be the better fighter in all departments, whether it's the striking, wrestling, or grappling. Quinlan Salkill, I believe, is levels above Jamie Malarkey. Jamie Malarkey's been in the game a long time, and you see it in his UFC record, he's 6-6. When he's had step-ups in competition, he's pretty much blown it. His most recent losses coming from Marisa Rufi, who slept badly by Quinlan Salkill in the first round. And I know styles make fights here, guys. It's just something to point out. Jamie Malarkey was slept badly by Marisa Rufi in the first, and then he gets lighter fights, easier fights like Ronaldo Bedoya, and secures that win just with the takedowns and control time. I don't see him doing that. If he tries to use the same strategy on Quinlan Salkill, he's gonna be in for a long and rough night, because Quinlan Salkill is no joke in the ground game. You see it here. He's new. He's still fresh in his career, just 10 wins and 1 loss, but you already see here he has some subs lined up in his resume. 3 by submission, and he has 4 knockouts. This dude's tough. And on the other hand, Jamie Malarkey has 10 knockouts, and I don't think he's gonna be the one to put out Quinlan. Quinlan's just gonna be levels above, and this is almost like the new up and comer taking out old Yeller. We obviously don't see it in his age, but in fighting years, he's been through the blender. Pretty much, in my opinion, a lamb going in the slaughter. Jamie is coming in short notice, so that's just more gas to put in the fire. So give me Jamie Malarkey to win this fight, guys. In the heavyweight division, we have a banger of a matchup between Tai Tuivasa and Talishin Teixeira. I know the majority of the world here is going to be on Talishin Teixeira, as he is the minus 300. He's 8-1, only having a fluke loss over Derek Lewis, because he wasn't really knocked out, but he did cheat, so I understand why. I did have it on Talishin, but I wasn't even mad at it, because Derek Lewis. But he was grabbing the cage, man, and I believe if he didn't grab it, he was going to eat more shots, and who knows, he may have been put out, but he did grab the cage, and I agreed with the stoppage there, but he wasn't really knocked out. So I know it's saying 1 knockout loss on his resume, but he wasn't really knocked out. He's taking on Tai Tuivasa. Dude's been out of the game for a long time, and at one point in his career, this dude was head up. He was 1 fight away from fighting John Jones. Imagine how that would have turned out. But anyways, these dudes are pretty much gonna just have it on the feet. These guys are gonna brawl. Talijin Teixeira is gonna tower over this man, having what 8 inches in reach advantage over Bam. The last dude that towered over Bam was Volkov, and he struggled very badly to connect. He just has small limbs and those strong overhands. I don't know how this man's gonna come out. I will be rooting for Tai Tuivasa, and who knows, I may bet on him. He's only 32, fellas. He's not old. I know he's been in the game for a long time, but I think this fight may be a bit closer. It's a heavyweight bout, guys. Let's not forget. It's a heavyweight bout. These guys are coming in a fight, full hands, and it's pretty much the first one to connect because both men have one-punch knockout power, and I'm not a big fan of Talijin Teixeira. I understand why people are betting him. I'm a big Tai Tuivasa fan, bro. When I started watching this sport, this man was hot. He was hot. I can't support this Tony Ferguson type of losing streak, man. I'm gonna root for this man to get back on the win column and get this win over Talijin Teixeira. So I'm taking time, Bam, to knock this dude out. Knock him out clean. Finish what Derek Lewis couldn't do. Although I know the resume, but he wasn't really knocked out. But Tai will knock this dude out. So give me Tai Tuivasa to knock him out in the first round, boy. Let's go. In the lightweight division, we have a matchup between Rafael Fiziev and Mauricio Ruffy. This is going to be a high-level striking bout between the two. Rafael Fiziev holds a record of 13 wins, 4 losses. He's 2-3 in his last 5. Those 3 losses coming from Jason Gaethje and Mateusz Gamrot, where Mateusz Gamrot, he had a knee injury. I know it says TKO, but it was a knee injury, and Justin Gaethje coming off a decision loss on both of them. His most recent loss against Justin Gaethje was a short notice fight, so we didn't get the best Fiziev in that matchup, and he did pretty good. He was holding his weight in the first round until he started gassing out, slowing down, and Gaethje just had the better exchanges towards the end. Mauricio Ruffy, he entered the UFC not too long ago. As you see, he only has 4 bouts in the UFC, going 3-1, and his most recent loss is Benoit Saint Denis. He was submitted in the second round. Now, up to that point, Saint Denis was the best opponent he's ever fought, and before that, his best win on his resume was probably King Green, man. Now, if you ask me, is Rafael Fiziev going to be the best opponent he's ever faced? Striking wise, yes. On the ground, I don't know. I think probably Saint Denis is better, but Fiziev gets takedowns of his own at a very high accuracy, as you see there at a 72%. He averages almost 1 takedown a fight. I'm taking Rafael Fiziev. He just has the experience, man. I don't think he's past his prime. He showed he had a great win against Ignacio Bahamondes, where he was just outstriking him, showing his experience, and fighting the perfect fight against Ignacio. He was getting takedowns. He looked great, man. He looked great. I can only imagine how a full camp Fiziev is going to look like. Mauricio Ruffy, I don't know, man. He left the Fighting Nerds and is training with Volkanovski. Volkanovski has trained with Fiziev for a while, so who knows if he's giving him good pointers on how to fight. But putting all that stuff aside, man, I have to take Fiziev, man. The striking is just too elite. It's too elite, too technical. Ruffy's a little more flashy, comes on the McGregor stance. And I don't know how he's going to come off a loss. It's his first loss in a while. His last loss came in the regionals. I don't know how Mauricio Ruffy's going to come out fighting off a different camp and his first loss. I've seen Fiziev fought perfectly off a 3-fight losing streak. I've seen everything I want to see from a fighter, and to back Fiziev up and have a confident pick in him, I probably will place a bet. The odds are pretty even here, and I'm feeling pretty good about Fiziev. I'm taking Fiziev to win this fight, fellas. All right, what's going to be the fight of the night? We have Dan Hooker taking on Benoit. The safe pick, and probably the pick that makes sense here, is obviously Benoit Saint Denis, just because he's going to have a grappling edge over Dan Hooker, and that's Dan Hooker's number 1 weakness, man, is the grapplers. He got absolutely ran through in his last fight by Arman Tsarukyan. Benoit Saint Denis is by no means a Arman Tsarukyan or Islam Makhachev, but he's up there. He holds 11 of his 16 victories come from submission. This dude's no joke on the floor. on the ground, guys, and he's 8-3 in the UFC. 11 of those fights come in inside 10 minutes. This dude's pretty reckless. He's pretty much like Dan Hooker, man. Dan Hooker doesn't even, man. He's just trying to swing, and make it an ugly fight. But he's an exciting fighter, and the UFC's gonna always keep this man around, man, just because he brings eyes to the sport. His last loss, like I said, wasn't a good look, especially for this matchup, because Armin pretty much gave Benoit Saint Denis the blueprint to the fight, take him down and submit him. And Benoit Saint Denis, I believe, is going to do just that. But if he doesn't, I've seen he has holes in his game where he's moved in some of his fights. He's moved pretty bad, and I've seen openings where fighters like Dan Hooker are probably gonna check that, and if they do, it may take out. Denis Saint Denis has been knocked out before in his career. If we go back a little bit in his resume, Dustin Poirier, this dude out in the second round, and so the knockout is not completely out of realm here. I will be placing a bet on Dan Hooker. The obvious pick here is Denis to win this fight. It's pretty clear. The pick here is Benoit Saint Denis. For the main event, we have the featherweight title on the line. It's a rematch. Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez. A ton of people are mad about this matchup, fellas, and I don't blame you. There are more deserving fighters that deserve this title shot over Diego Lopez. And I personally believe, although Malone Murphy is a boring fighter for the most part, that victory he had over Aaron Pico was deserving of the title shot. So I thought he was up next, but hey, this fight we got, so it's the fight we're gonna break down. Diego Lopez. I chose him the first time. He sold. It was frustrating. He had him hurt. I believe in the third round, dropped him, didn't pick up the pace, didn't pick up the pressure, and ultimately he lost that fight. Volk didn't win it. He lost it. I believe that he's gonna come in with the fire, man. And I hope that he does, because if he doesn't, it's going to be the same thing as the first fight, man. Alexander's just going to pick him apart on the outside and just be one step ahead. Diego has to make this a dirty fight, man. He has to get dirty. He has to get in there. He has to swing leather and knock Volkanovski out, man. His chin's not there anymore, man. He's an old man. Those knockouts that he took from Islam and Taporia, those were tough ones. Your chin does not recover from that. And clearly it showed it. When he got tagged good from Diego Lopez, he didn't have good reaction. I'm assuming that, and I'm hoping that Diego does come in with the game plan like I've mentioned, where he makes it dirty. Because if he does, he'll win this fight clearly, man. And he'll win it before the championship rounds start. I am sure of that. So the pick here is going to be Diego Lopez. So give me Diego Lopez to win this fight inside the distance. All right, fellas. So that's all the predictions that I got for y'all for this card. Let me know what you guys thought of them. If I'm crazy for making these bold predictions. All right, fellas. That wraps it up. Let me know what you guys thought. If you guys did have any disagreements, let me know it in the comments down below. These were the picks for UFC 325. Let's make some money, fellas. Let's get it.